yeah! Let's fucking take that hill! Ah, fuck! Why is this lock set to... No, I don't need the horse! You look at this shell's gonna come out and just fucking open the hatch and drop a grenade in. And I'm losing my sense of humor. Not that I ever had one, just to be clear. Finally. The instructions were unclear! Don't get rid of the horse! In World of Tanks, the frequency at which people make fundamentally boneheaded decisions is odd, considering that the game's primary method of contradicting one's assumption of their own astuteness is to have them violently explode and scatter themselves and their misguided ambitions all over the battlefield. Before having become a gamer, you might think that that imminent threat of death upon a minor lapse in judgment would make that very judgment more common. That conjecture is incorrect. Actually, it's more than incorrect. It competes on a level of wrong that is so elite it can go toe-to-toe with some of my favourite arguments from the Flat Earth Society. For instance, I once heard a man, purporting to be some sort of authority on the matter, claim that space didn't exist. We didn't go to the moon, the Earth was flat, and that we were covered by a giant dome otherwise known as the firmament. Later, upon being confronted with a picture of a beautiful blue marble taken out of the window of one of the Apollo spacecraft, he responded that the window of said spacecraft was convex, thus making the flat Earth appear to be curved. And I will let you, for your own enjoyment, scroll down to the comments just to read how many flaws people can come up with that argument. Because I myself am curious to see if I've missed any. Nevertheless, that is the potency of failure that you can find on regular occasion within World of Tanks. I punched the microphone, I do apologise. It's not merely a lack of situational or nuanced game knowledge. That's excusable, that's understandable. It's a lack of comprehension of basic logical fundamentals that permeate every facet of human existence. Welcome to Congratulations, You Are a Twit. Here is a fun fact for the day. The turret traverse of the Hellcat is
a 15-degree-per-hour drift.
Thanks, Bob. No. 16 degrees a second, Bob. By the way, for anyone who doesn't know, that's Bob Nodell.
15-degree-per-hour drift.
He's a flat earther who appeared in a Netflix documentary where he attempted to prove that the Earth is flat. What he did was he acquired a ring laser gyroscope for $20,000 and managed to prove that the Earth rotates.
15-degree-per-hour drift.
Thank you, Bob. Speaking of facile facets of human existence, which may be the best thing ever written in a script, but that is only because I doubt they needed to script this advertisement.
What's that sound? What's that shaking? It's the Mauerbrecher, heavily armored. He blocks damage, but deals it too. Be unstoppable. The Mauerbrecher.
What? What the fuck? What did you just say?
High ground. High ground superiority permeates every element of in-game combat and real-life warfare as well. Castles were built atop hills for the same reason that high ground is superior within World of Tanks. That being your ability to lob Lithuanian baboons from the walls.
I told you, I warned you before. I warned you before. I have opportunity, I go for it. I'm coming in!
If there's one map that is a perfect example of people's lack of comprehension within this field, it is the Empire's Border. Now, to briefly summarise the potency of high ground, keep in mind 1. High ground allows you to see further, increasing your awareness. 2. High ground allows you to dictate the combat and choose when to engage your opponent. 3. It is easier to go from high ground to low ground than low ground to high ground. Those are some very basic fundamentals that will help you understand why high ground is better the vast majority of the time. Now, this all comes to fruition at this point in Empire's Border, where at this stage of the map you have the choice to either turn towards the high ground or abandon all logic and dignity and go and fight at K1. Now, allow me to show you why the high ground is so much better here. Alright, okay, we're gonna roleplay being done, which should be fun. So here we spawned northwest. Now bear in mind that the potency of the high ground is exactly the same from the perspective of both spawns here, and for the exact same reason. So I'm only gonna go into the perspective from the northwest base because it's exactly the same from the south, so brevity will rule here. So let's go from the northwest base and win K1. Hey, we fought for K1 because we're dumb and we won. Hooray, that is good. Now, what the fuck do we do? What do we do? Because let me tell you, if I am the enemy team, and ignore the classes of tanks here, this is just a hypothetical, but the enemy team, okay, let's see. Oh no, the enemy have one K1. Oh no, let's put one tank there, one tank there, one tank there, one tank there, because we won the high ground. There's one tank there, and there's an RT or two back here. We've won. That's it! We've fucking won! What can you do? Because if you'll notice, not only have they cut off our approach, switch to green here, not only have they cut off our approach, we cannot be here. Crossfire from this guy, crossfire from the RT, crossfire between these two, pushing up here is a no-go, pushing across here is a no-go. We cannot attack because of 20 tanks, regardless of what we have here. We just cannot do it. It will not happen. But, in addition to that, we can now no longer fall back because this guy has a cross shot. They lock down our offense and our fallback position, whilst also having the ability to do this and access the entirety of the rest of the map as well. We can't do that! The only option we have is to relocate to the garage by jumping off this fucking cliff. Like, taking K1 is immensely stupid. Immensely stupid. Not only by taking the high ground do you get access to the rest of the map with options to go back to your base and options to press into theirs, but you lock down the offensive and the defensive measures of everyone below you, moving over here and moving over here. Do not fight for K1 on Empire's Border. Do not do it. Please, for the love of God, it is at a 9 to the nth degree. But now, practicality as ever obfuscates theory. So you have to ask which team gets access to this position first, and the answer is the Southwest team. And while here it may only appear that that difference is a couple of seconds, you've got to bear in mind that one approach to this position is littered by destructible cover which will significantly slow the progress of the vehicle. I took the absolute optimal route, let me be clear, not a realistic route to take in a game when there's a lot of other players moving around you. You are likely to hit destructible cover. I took the optimal route and I still got there 2 seconds slower than the approach from the other base. Therefore, this position, this incredibly powerful position, favours the Southwest team. Alright, so let's have a couple of quick fire dunderheads. First up, me. Yeah! Here I am on 6th line in the CS59, approaching the conclusion of a rather mediocre game. However, I'm also approaching a good old Grill 15. Blessed with 1,800 hit points and less armor than a stinging nettle with leprosy, it's a fitting candidate for one of my limited HE shells. Or so I thought. Ow! So 510 average damage in the chamber. I take a shot as penance for the sins that I'm about to commit on this man, miss a shot that eventually hits Scott Sterling in the face somewhere, then give him a lamb to soften him up and end up on 10 HP myself, and then die! Because I shot his gun and blew myself up with my own shell. Hey, at least I kept up the appearance of having a sense of humour while I'm internally grieving for my own dignity. Next up, 6th line again. This time within a mill, driven by okay, that is hard to pronounce, so for convenience, I'm just gonna call him Justin Von Turdface. A defensive assault game here on 6th line that starts out with some optimism in chat. Easy to win, eh? Well, optimistic it may be, but does it come to fruition? Some may think not, whereupon attaining a lead of 8-2, the defensive team collectively lose 100% of the brain cells that they stored for the winter, push out of the town they're supposed to be defending, and start dying like a sack of hamsters in a washing machine. While it may not look too severe, the ability of the defending team to leave the only objective of the game clearly and categorically undefended is frankly uncanny. Even more so when you consider that the hook that they all got reeled in with was the altogether unappealing notion of YOLOing out into an open field on defensive assault against camping opponents while leaving your base to fend for itself. I could have at least linked the pillars with C4 or something. I would give them points for originality. And banned for breaking the game, but points. Anyhow, later, when the scores are quite unfathomably 12-11, Jeremy McBrownpants here feeds the gerbils, driving his tank some methane laced with crack cocaine, and has them Flintstones his tank back towards the town, where now the violent affair is taking place. Our IS-2 is for some reason firing HE at theirs, which doesn't matter a huge amount as Jimmy Limp Dick McClarty here picks up the kill, although it does cost the IS his life. And this shot on the Scorpion there doesn't go far towards helping matters, and a massive hit comes in from the M44. Comes out of nowhere, shotgun medal for that guy. And Jive Clive Stick Knives here, empowered by those lost hit points, calls a 21-19 and starts a hot pursuit. He bounces off a Scorpion, or rather armor not penetrated, a Scorpion, which, considering that the Scorpion only has 1mm of armor, I can confirm that this is a literal miracle. And I personally am suggesting we all convert from our various religions and unify under the cult of How the Fuck Did You Do That, led by Joseph Chuck Nigger. He somehow misses the next shell, thank you APCR for the shell travel time, and so he tries to compensate his squandered clip potential with intimate violence. But alas, being only a Padawan in the art of tank-tronic massage, he's unable to get a happy ending, and runs away crying like a little girl. Pursued heavily around the corner by tanks that have the combined physical integrity of Jason Statham's hair follicles, he decides that there's one solution to this issue, and stops to talk the situation out. Unfortunately, either due to poor reaction time or the fact that everyone in this game seems to be so unfathomably dense that gravity is actually becoming a factor, both enemy tanks decide that brake pedals are for the weak and go careening into his ass as fast as their lack of logical prowess can carry them. Public safety announcement. Ship things are meant to go into your ass. I said it wrong. Ship things are meant to come out of your ass, not into it. It wasn't funny the second time. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you kindly for watching. I appreciate your time very much. If you're interested, there's a Learn World of Tanks playlist on which you can find videos on mechanics of the game and interesting things. If you're in the mood for some comedy, on the outro screen, I recommend clicking on the Stream Shenanigans playlist, which will take you to a series of videos where you can see things like this. Okay, let's do it. Oh, that's the Patreon. Which one do you want? Which one do you want?
Just hit, go Patreon.
Oh my word, this is gonna be violent, lads.
Guns on the Basante.
Oh my Christ! Holy shit! Oh my God!
I've been violated.
What the fuck? What?
Holy shit!
You fucking one-shot a patriot! Other than that, have a splendid day. Thank you very much for watching.
Is always delivering. That is no Estonia, his hands are calm. That is wargaming shivering. Strong like a Range Rover, hot like a flamethrower. He'll beat your chieftain in the talk, game over. Raping games and KV trains, rushing in and crushing things. He's crushing you and you just got a crush on him. From Mainz to Malinovka,